He's so chill and he never moves. My little nephew, baby Harris Dupont, finally gave his mommy a real belly roll, and it was on court, on camera.
How did you feel?
I felt, I don't even know the word, like, whatever's bigger than amazed. Like I was.
The news of Brat and Jessica Judy Dupart's separation shocked fans who had closely followed their love story on social media and through countless interviews. Their romance had always been seen as a bold celebration of love, authenticity, and parenthood, but the sudden announcement of divorce and the even more unexpected custody dispute left supporters stunned. What makes this case particularly controversial is the couple's unique parenting arrangement. Although Brat carried their child, Judy had provided the eggs, making her the biological mother. Their openness about the fertility process and their emotional journey to parenthood had won them admiration. But it is that very transparency that has now created an incredibly complicated custody battle. Fans are divided over how the court will weigh biology against the deep bond Brat formed during pregnancy, with speculation growing daily over who will emerge as the primary caregiver. Reports suggest Brat is seeking full custody, setting the stage for what could become one of the most closely followed celebrity custody disputes in recent memory. For years, Brat and Judy seemed inseparable, constantly sharing public displays of affection and showering one another with words of admiration. Their journey into motherhood, which they documented with pregnancy announcements, heartfelt confessions, and joyous milestones, appeared to be one of the brightest chapters of their relationship. From the outside looking in, their bond seemed unshakable, but the sudden news of their divorce has left many asking what went wrong. Fans are particularly concerned about how this decision will affect not only the two women but also their son, who is now at the center of a heated custody dispute. The couple must now navigate not just their emotional separation but also the relentless public scrutiny that comes with being high-profile figures in love, marriage, and motherhood. What makes their breakup even more shocking is how invested the public had been in their story. How could a couple that appeared so happy and devoted suddenly unravel in such a dramatic and painful way? The situation underscores the hidden complexities of relationships, especially those lived out in the public eye. While social media showed glamorous vacations, adorable family photos, and moments of triumph, those who watched closely began noticing subtle changes long before the divorce announcement. Rumors of tension had circulated for months, though the couple often kept their struggles behind the scenes. Still, one particular video, showing the two arguing over how to strap their son into his car seat, confirmed suspicions for many. In the clip, Judy, who already had 3 children from a previous relationship, appeared to take charge and treat their son as though he were hers alone. To fans of Brat, this looked like Judy was preventing her from fully embracing her new role as a mother. The shift in Judy's energy once their baby arrived did not go unnoticed. Although she had been a mother before, some fans remarked that she approached this child differently, almost as though she was overly determined to control the narrative of motherhood this time around. This shift in dynamic may have been one of the key factors leading to the breakdown of the relationship. It is also a stark reminder that what we see online is often a polished version of reality, carefully curated to highlight only the most flattering moments. While the couple had been celebrated for their openness, authenticity, and honesty, it is now clear that there were private battles they chose not to share. As they head into a courtroom showdown, the public is left to reconcile the glamorous love story they admired with the complicated reality behind it. The custody battle is not just about their family but also raises broader questions about how society views non-traditional family structures. Judy's biological connection to their son adds a layer of complexity that few custody cases face, and many fans are wondering whether that will tip the scales in her favor. At the same time, Brat's role as the one who carried the pregnancy makes her equally vital in the eyes of her supporters. The case will likely set a precedent, sparking conversations about what defines parenthood in modern families. Rumors are also circulating that Judy has been taking more ownership of their child on social media, further sidelining Brat in the eyes of many fans. Once seen as a united power couple, their split has instead become a cautionary tale about how relationships can crumble under the weight of fame, business, and personal differences. Some fans believe this imbalance has always existed. They argue that Judy has consistently taken the lead in important decisions, from planning lavish birthday parties to orchestrating their marriage proposal. To outsiders, it often looked as though Judy was driving the relationship forward while Brat went along, sometimes reluctantly. If this dynamic existed behind the scenes, it may explain why cracks began to form much earlier than the public realized. Observers point out that the honeymoon phase may have ended long ago, with subtle signs of strain visible in their body language during public appearances. What once looked like effortless chemistry now seems staged, and speculation grew that their love story had become more performance than reality. Now, all eyes are on the courtroom. Will the two women be able to reach a custody agreement for the sake of their son, or will this turn into a prolonged and messy legal battle? The answer remains uncertain, but either way, their story has already shed light on the fragility of relationships in the public eye. Even relationships that appear picture-perfect online can harbor deep struggles, and even the most celebrated couples can unravel. Judy's critics argue that her focus has always been on the limelight, whether through her business ventures, her marriage, or her carefully crafted family image. Some even speculate that her relationship with Brat may have been another strategy to maintain visibility and promote her kaleidoscope brand. For those who believe this, the current custody dispute is not just about parenting, it is about control, image, and legacy. Supporters of Brat, meanwhile, see her as someone caught in the crossfire of a relationship where love and business became too tightly intertwined. It is worth remembering that their romance began long before their official Instagram announcement in 2020. Behind the scenes, Brat and Judy had been connected since at least 2017, when the rapper attended one of Judy's Kaleidoscope events. What began as professional support quickly developed into something deeper. Yet even in those early years, there were whispers that Judy briefly stepped away from Brat to reconnect with an ex, adding an extra layer of complication to their story. Those rumors, whether true or not, now fuel ongoing speculation about Judy's true intentions in the relationship. As fans continue to dissect every move, one thing is certain: this breakup has become more than just a private matter. It is a public spectacle that touches on questions of love, authenticity, ambition, and parenthood in the modern world. Was their relationship ever truly about love, or was it about strategy and branding? The truth may never be fully known, but the outcome of their custody battle will shape not only their family's future, but also how the world remembers what was once hailed as a groundbreaking romance.
I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. For the first time, I felt like it was like a flutter. It felt like I don't know, like it was fart? Not a fart, but just like a butterfly kind of.
Okay.
But it kept happening. I was like, oh my God, that's it. So it was very emotional. It was crazy. And I was just like, it's always these little things that remind me like I have a human in my body.
Yeah.
And I get overwhelmed a lot, but I'm completely so blessed. And it's my little miracle drop.
I was just as shocked as you were because I've never seen that much Brat skin.
No, that's so true. No, that is so true.
I was like, babe, my full skin and stomach is out. I mean, I ain't shown no body like that since what you like.
Okay.
Well, you know what, y'all? Maybe we all just say we love you, nephew. He'll move for us, y'all. What y'all think about that?
Yeah.
Count to three. 1, 2, 3.
We love you, nephew.
He's sleeping, getting ready for Freaknik 2040.
Okay.
Went through a miscarriage as well.
What? When?
Yeah, it was a very long time ago. Under some far different circumstances that we have right now. It was between my pregnancy with Byron and Jordan. Actually wound up pregnant with twins.
What?
I didn't want my parents to know.
Twins?
Yes. It was around graduation time, so it was real stressful in my life at the time.
Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Went to the emergency room.
They said that it might be a hyperstimulation of the ovaries. The only reason I came is that I can't breathe.
Her ovaries had swollen. She ended up with blood clots in her lungs.
The blood clots in my lungs caused my heart to beat very fast on one side, so then I had an enlarged heart. So then we had to see a cardiologist, I had to see a hematologist, I had to see an oncologist. Beautiful. I'm fine now.
Yeah, but you...
Don't do that.
You called your kids. You had to call your kids. You told them you loved them.
He was like almost trying to get you together in case something would happen. Yeah.
I just want to know, like, growing up, how did it feel to actually have to be two different people?
I wasn't interested in girls until I was around the time I was making Funkified.
Okay. Did you feel like you couldn't, let the world know that you like women?
Back in the 90s, you didn't talk about that.
Right.
I don't know if y'all know, Ellen lost her show.
Yeah,
it was a whole different day than it is today. I didn't want to come out at all till I met Judy.
Right.
Never thought about being married, having kids, or coming out. Till I met my baby, and then she changed all that. I want to do all this stuff now that I never even dreamed about doing, and I love it. I feel like a new bitch. I was having a conversation with my baby about the title. I told her I was going to call it Brat Love Judy. She was like, why don't you shouldn't call it Brat Love Judy. You should just focus on what the songs are about. I was like, bitch, they about you.
When people ask stuff about you, she will either not respond or she'll say no comment. I just feel like the same respect that she gives you, why can't she have that same respect from you?
So let me tell me what you thought I should have said.
I would have no comment. I honestly would have no comment. I feel like you just asked me my opinion.
And that's not my personality at all. It's not, because here's the thing. When somebody asks me something,
but then if she responds to these same questions, she won't do it.
When rapper Brat first showed up to support Jessica Judy Depart at one of her Kaleidoscope brand events, it seemed like nothing more than a moment of mutual admiration. Two women, both successful and admired in their industries, crossed paths in a way that felt organic and exciting. What started as a small spark quickly grew into something much larger, pulling them into a whirlwind romance that fans would soon celebrate. Their love story unfolded on social media and in interviews, and for a while, it looked like the perfect fairy tale. Yet, beneath the glamour and the public smiles, not everything was as it seemed. Rumors began to surface that Judy may have had one foot into different worlds. Whispers circulated that at some point in the early days of their relationship, she ghosted Brat to return to an ex. While no one could confirm the truth, the speculation cast shadows over the relationship and planted doubts about how solid their bond really was. From the moment Brat confirmed her relationship with Judy on Instagram in 2020, their romance became a public event. Fans were ecstatic to see the rapper, who had long kept her private life quiet, finally embracing love openly. By the following year, they were married, and conversations quickly turned to starting a family. On the surface, everything looked like a dream. Two women in love, both thriving in their careers, stepping into motherhood together. But even as the public cheered, some wondered if things were moving too fast. The transition from dating to marriage to parenthood felt almost rushed, as if the natural rhythm of their relationship had been replaced with a timeline meant to capture the public eye. By February 2022, discussions about fertility treatments became public, and soon after, Judy's health scare made headlines. She had undergone an egg retrieval procedure, and complications led to life-threatening blood clots in her lungs and heart. It was terrifying and very real, yet skeptics still whispered that the story may have been amplified for the cameras. Some even suggested that Judy never truly intended to carry the baby herself, which only fueled speculation about her intentions. In the end, it was Brat who carried their son, True, using Judy's eggs and a sperm donor. For many, it was a beautiful moment, a celebration of modern love and family, but for others, it added layers of complexity to an already complicated dynamic. As parenthood settled in, so did tension. While social media continued to present them as united, fans who paid close attention began noticing subtle cracks in their relationship. Judy, who had long been known as a sharp businesswoman and the face of a thriving beauty empire, seemed increasingly possessive of baby True. A video surfaced showing the couple arguing over something as simple as strapping their baby into a car seat. To most, it should have been a minor disagreement, but the way Judy handled the situation struck a chord. She appeared to take control entirely, treating the moment as though True was solely her child. Brat, meanwhile, looked pushed aside. Fans began asking if Judy was unwilling to share equal parenting responsibilities and whether her possessive behavior hinted at deeper control issues. This argument wasn't an isolated incident. Some fans believed Judy's intense focus on True was her attempt to rewrite her own past. During her rise in business, Judy's daughter had stepped in to help raise her younger brothers because Judy had been so consumed with building her empire. Now, many speculated that Judy was overcompensating with True, trying to prove that she could be the present and attentive mother she hadn't always been before. But others weren't convinced. To them, her behavior looked less like redemption and more like control. She wanted ownership over this narrative, just as she had ownership over her brand. The optics only added fuel to the fire. Judy showered Brat with expensive gifts and extravagant public gestures, but what might have been interpreted as generosity began to feel like performance. To some fans, these displays didn't seem like natural expressions of love, but rather calculated moves designed to keep the spotlight on their relationship. And as time went on, people began asking a difficult question. Was Judy truly invested in Brat as a partner, or was she using the relationship as another extension of her brand? Fans also noticed an imbalance in how the relationship was presented. Judy often seemed to be the one taking the lead, planning big announcements, throwing lavish parties, and driving major decisions, while Brat often appeared to simply go along with it. For many observers, this raised the possibility that the relationship was less about equal partnership and more about Judy's influence and control. With each new milestone carefully rolled out for the public, the line between reality and performance blurred. Was this a true love story, or was it a show designed to keep people watching? Parenthood only magnified the questions. Judy's parenting style often came across as controlling, while Brat appeared to be struggling to carve out space as a mother. Clips of their interactions spread across social media, and fans analyzed every look and gesture. Some saw Judy's behavior as the desperate act of a woman trying to rewrite her legacy as a parent, while others saw it as yet another example of her need to dominate the narrative. Either way, the strain between them was becoming harder to ignore. The signs were especially visible in public appearances, at airports, on red carpets, and even in candid social media clips. The chemistry that once seemed effortless began to look strained. Judy's body language often screamed ownership, as though she was saying, "This is my baby," while Brat looked more like an outsider than an equal partner. The cracks in their once celebrated love story were no longer hidden. They were playing out in front of millions of fans. Now, with divorce proceedings and a custody battle looming, what started as a fairy tale has unraveled into a courtroom drama. The couple that once stood as a symbol of resilience, openness, and modern love has become a cautionary tale about the pressures of fame, the complications of blending business and personal life, and the challenges of navigating parenthood under the public eye. The same fans who once celebrated their journey now watch with divided opinions, some still rooting for reconciliation, others convinced that the relationship was built on shaky foundations from the start. The lingering question remains: was this ever truly about love? Or was it a carefully managed performance, one that gave Judy more exposure and kept Brat tied into a narrative she didn't fully control? No one can say for certain, but what is undeniable is the public fascination with their story. Every new headline, every court update, and every social media post keeps people talking. For Brat and Judy, the stakes could not be higher. The custody of their son, the legacy of their relationship, and their reputations as both parents and public figures are all on the line. What was once a love story celebrated for its authenticity now stands as a reminder that appearances can be deceiving. Social media shows only fragments of the truth, and behind every perfectly curated post may lie struggles no one sees. In the end, this is not just the story of two women falling in love, building a family, and then breaking apart. It is a reflection of how modern relationships, especially those in the spotlight, can be both beautiful and fragile. For fans, it is heartbreaking to watch. For Brat and Judy, it is life, and the outcome will shape not only their futures but also how their story is remembered.
I don't care what
she wouldn't do that to you, but she wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you for telling me.
She wouldn't.
And
tension in a relationship can sometimes be subtle, hidden behind smiles and affectionate gestures, but in the case of rapper Brat and her wife, Jessica Judy Dupart, that tension has become increasingly difficult to ignore. What once appeared to be a picture-perfect love story celebrated on social media and reality television is now under scrutiny, with fans questioning whether their romance was ever as genuine as it seemed. The source of their conflict appears to center on their child and the dynamics of parenting. Many observers have noticed how Judy's behavior comes across as calculated, raising doubts about whether her actions are motivated by love or something more strategic. Fans have even commented that Judy, who already has 3 children from previous relationships, exudes the kind of energy typical of a first-time mother. But the reality is quite different. It is Brat, pushing 50 and experiencing motherhood for the very first time, who should be enjoying that new mom glow. Instead, Judy seems to be overshadowing her, not allowing Brat the chance to fully embrace the milestone. From the earliest days of their public relationship, Judy has been the one in control. She organized extravagant gestures, including the flashy birthday party where she proposed to Brat. At that moment, many viewers noticed that Brat's expression suggested hesitation rather than excitement, almost as though she was being pressured into moving faster than she was comfortable with. These small but telling signals are now being re-examined as part of a larger pattern, one that makes the relationship look less like a natural love story and more like a carefully orchestrated performance. The question that lingers in the minds of many is whether Judy's commitment is rooted in genuine affection or business strategy. Her actions, the marriage, the baby, the constant public displays of affection seem designed to secure not only emotional validation but also public visibility. Judy has always thrived in the spotlight, using her brand and reality television presence to elevate her profile. Fans now wonder if this relationship was simply another avenue to strengthen her influence and secure long-term financial stability. When Brat officially went public with their romance in 2020, fans believed they were witnessing a fresh chapter in the rapper's life. Yet the truth is that the couple had been together since 2017, after meeting at one of Judy's Kaleidoscope events. The romance seemed sweet, but rumors soon emerged that Judy had briefly ghosted Brat to return to her ex. If true, this would suggest that Judy's heart may never have been fully invested. Talking about babies, marriage, and shared futures might have looked magical on Instagram, but to some fans, it all appeared rushed and somewhat performative. Parenting, in particular, became a stage rather than an intimate journey. Every moment seemed curated for the cameras, raising questions about authenticity. Judy's parenting choices have drawn mixed reactions. On one hand, she is visibly attached to her youngest child, showering him with affection and care. On the other, critics argue that her interactions often feel staged, as though each tender moment is meant for social media rather than genuine bonding. The cameras are always rolling, turning what should be private family time into a carefully branded narrative. This raises uncomfortable questions about Judy's priorities. Is she focused on raising her child, or is she more concerned with presenting an image of herself as the perfect mother? The distinction matters because Judy has previously admitted that she was not as present for her older children. On their reality series Brat Loves Judy, she acknowledged that her daughter had to step in to help raise her younger siblings while Judy built her business empire. Some fans speculate that her intense attachment to this baby is less about new motherhood and more about compensating for the guilt of her earlier absence. While this might explain some of her behavior, it does not fully address the criticism. Many argue that Judy's style of performative parenting sidelines Brat, preventing her from fully stepping into her long-awaited role as a mother. Instead of sharing the experience equally, Judy appears to dominate decisions and interactions, creating visible tension between the couple. The couple's journey to parenthood was complicated and emotional. Initially, many assumed Judy would carry the baby, but medical complications prevented her from doing so. She went through an egg retrieval process, but the procedure left her hospitalized with blood clots in her lungs and heart, a life-threatening situation. At that point, Brat stepped in and carried the pregnancy, making her the one who physically gave birth. However, the child was conceived using Judy's eggs and a sperm donor, meaning Judy is the biological mother while Brat is the birth mother. This dynamic has added another layer of complexity to their relationship and, potentially, to any future custody arrangements. On season 3 of Brat Loves Judy, Brat became emotional while discussing Judy's health struggles, yet even those scenes sparked skepticism. Some fans speculated that Judy never truly intended to carry the child and that the dramatic storyline was exaggerated for the cameras. Regardless of intent, the biological and emotional dynamics within their family have left many wondering about Judy's true priorities? Is her involvement centered on building a loving family, or is it yet another move in a broader strategy to protect her brand and maintain public interest? There is no denying that Judy is a savvy businesswoman. Long before Brat entered the picture, she had built a successful empire with her Kaleidoscope haircare line. But relationships built under the weight of fame and fortune can blur the lines between personal and professional motives. While Judy has showered Brat with expensive gifts and public gestures, critics argue that these material displays are less about genuine affection and more about image building. Lavish spending can create the appearance of love, but it does not necessarily reflect emotional investment. The most glaring concern for many fans is Judy's apparent need for control. She rarely allows anyone else, including Brat, to take the lead in parenting decisions. Scenes of the couple arguing over something as simple as strapping their son into a car seat have gone viral, reinforcing the perception that Judy wants to dictate every aspect of childcare. To outsiders, it looks less like co-parenting and more like Judy asserting ownership. Together, Brat and Judy's curated social media posts and reality TV appearances create the impression of a glamorous, affectionate couple. But as more cracks emerge, it becomes increasingly clear that these highlights are only part of the story. Behind the staged moments, unresolved tensions appear to be driving a wedge between them. For Judy, every aspect of her life seems intertwined with her brand. From romantic milestones to family moments, the lines between personal life and public image blur. For Brat, entering motherhood later in life should have been a deeply personal and transformative experience. Instead, it has been overshadowed by a partner who seems more interested in controlling the narrative than sharing the joy. What happens next for Brat and Judy remains uncertain. If the relationship continues to unravel, custody of their son will become a central issue, complicated by the fact that Judy is the biological mother while Brat is the birth mother. Such disputes raise broader questions about how non-traditional families navigate legal and emotional challenges in the public eye. Fans who once celebrated their union are now divided. Some believe Judy genuinely loves Brat but struggles to balance her business instincts with personal relationships. Others argue that Judy has been playing the long game all along, leveraging the relationship to enhance her brand. At the end of the day, one reality is hard to escape. Much of what the public sees has been meticulously staged. The gestures, the parenting moments, the carefully timed social media posts, all of it suggests a couple more concerned with appearances than authenticity. Brat and Judy's relationship has evolved from a highly celebrated love story into a complex drama, filled with unanswered questions. What began as an inspiring narrative of love, resilience, and motherhood now looks increasingly like a performance crafted for public consumption. Whether their bond can withstand the pressure of fame, parenthood, and public scrutiny remains to be seen. But for now, fans are left to wonder, was this ever truly about love, or was it always, at least in part, about business?